The King James Version (KJV), also known as the King James Bible (KJB) or simply the Authorized Version (AV), is an English translation of the Christian Bible for the Church of England. Begun in 1604 and completed as well as published in 1611 under the sponsorship of King James I of England. The books of the King James Version include the 39 books of the Old Testament, an intertestamental section containing 14 books of the Apocrypha, and the 27 books of the New Testament. It was first printed by Robert Barker, the King's printer, and was the third translation into English approved by the English Church authorities. The first had been the Great Bible, commissioned in the reign of King Henry VIII 1535, and the second had been the Bishop's Bible, commissioned in the reign of Queen Elizabeth I 1568. On the European continent, the first generation of Calvinists had produced the Geneva Bible of 1560 from the original Hebrew and Greek scriptures, which was influential in the writing of the Authorized King James Version. In January 1604, King James convened the Hampton Court Conference, where a New English version was conceived in response to the problems of the earlier translations. Perceived by the Puritans, a faction of the Church of England, the translation is noted for its majesty of style, and has been described as one of the most important books in English culture and a driving force in the shaping of the English-speaking world. James gave the translators instructions intended to ensure that the new version would conform to the ecclesiology of, and reflect the episcopal structure of, the Church of England and its belief in an ordained clergy. The translation was done by 47 scholars, all of whom were members of the Church of England. In common with most other translations of the period, the New Testament was translated from Greek, the Old Testament from Hebrew and Aramaic, and the Apocrypha from Greek and Latin. In the Book of Common Prayer 1662, the text of the Authorized Version replaced the text of the Great Bible for Epistle and Gospel readings but not for the Psalter, which substantially retained Coverdale's Great Bible Version, and as such was authorized by Act of Parliament. By the first half of the 18th century, the Authorized Version had become effectively unchallenged as the English translation used in Anglican and English Protestant churches, except for the Psalms and some short passages in the Book of Common Prayer of the Church of England. Over the course of the 18th century, the Authorized Version supplanted the Latin Vulgate as the standard version of Scripture for English-speaking scholars. With the development of stereotype printing at the beginning of the 19th century, this version of the Bible became the most widely printed book in history. Almost all such printings presenting the standard text of 1769 extensively re-edited by Benjamin Blayney at Oxford, and nearly always omitting the books of the Apocrypha. Today the unqualified title King James Version usually indicates this Oxford Standard Text. The KJV of 1611 used the 25-letter English alphabet with no letter J. Thus it was the King James Bible and used the IESU's crit. It was the first revision 1629 Cambridge King James Authorized Bible that first used the modern 26 letters and Jesus Christ. Subscribe our channel for more such informative short video.